All right, so I'm about to show you a clip where Chris Broussard finally, really, truly calls Nick Wright out. I'm so bummed because I already made a video that I already just posted for the first half of this segment where Nick Wright has picked the Chicago Bears to make it to the Super Bowl. And I kind of unpacked that whole thing. And these clips are starting to get so long on First Things First because they added like an extra half hour, I think. So things are just starting to get so much more stretched out with a lot more antics and just like, I don't know, non-sports related stuff that personally I don't care as much about. I like the more nitty gritty of these things. And so I kind of like skipped it and I was like, let me just focus on Nick's take. And then as I was letting the clip run, as I was kind of just, uploading the video and doing what I have to do on YouTube, I hear Chris Broussard now go, and he now just really finally says the quiet part out loud. And he kind of calls out Nick's logic and what he does, and I think it's spot on. And ironically, I actually said a few similar things in my own video, in my own take against him. So when I heard that, I was like, you know what? Let me make another video now about this. Usually I do it all in one video, of course, but I really think that this is kind of worth talking about and breaking down a little bit more deeply. So take a listen to what Brou has to say, and then we'll kind of break it down from there.
Gosh, Brou.
A whirlwind romance.
That's correct.
And like many whirlwind romances, dare I say most, it's not going to end well, all right? They are not in OT going to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I'm sorry, and here's the thing. And I hate to break it to the Bears. They should already know this, but maybe they don't.
Okay.
Nick's married. All right? And here's the thing. Nick doesn't care about the Bears.
What do you
They're second fiddle.
That's true.
The Chiefs, it's all about the Chiefs.
I said go to the NFC.
You dabble every single year. You flirt with somebody that you could take them or leave them. Last year was the Cowboys. Did you really care about the Cowboys? When they fell flat on their face against Green Bay, you didn't care one iota.
But I thought they were going to win the conference.
Because your real love is the Chiefs.
So
the year before that, you picked the freaking Niners.
The Niners.
With Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Trey Lance. Anybody heard anything from Trey Lance? Is he even throwing passes? Has he even beat out Cooper?
They made the NFC title game. That was a good pick.
I mean, so here's the he'll pick anybody to go get smashed by his real love, the Chiefs.
Well, what do you want him to do?
Yeah, do you want me to not?
I'm just telling the Bears. Better yet, Bears fans. Don't get all excited. All right? Don't think, Nick's always right about the Chiefs. Yeah, I mean, come on. Who the Chiefs?
Well, I mean, not
it's easy for him to pick the Chiefs.
This is Brou. Brou has really committed to the it's easy for Nick to pick the Chiefs because he's from there.
He's just going to pick his hometown team.
It does seem like a coincidence.
Right.
But Brou, all right, whether...
Okay, that's what I really wanted to highlight. The rest of the clip is just, more back and forth, whatever. But that Brou is calling him out, right? Like, finally actually saying, like, listen, this is what you're doing. You're just picking a team that you think is just going to be kind of entertaining or interesting or whatever. You don't really fully 100% believe in it, because your real focus is on the Chiefs. And so when you kind of have the Chiefs as your shield, you can pick the Cowboys, the Bears, right? Like you have a little bit more freedom because you're just, they're not your real pick. It's not your real support that you're 100% getting behind in. To listen to Nick's defense, and again, I always want to say this at the top, that anytime I ever directly, because most of the time when I make these clips, I just kind of dissect the take itself and either agree with it or disagree with it. But now that I'm talking about maybe like Nick a little bit more personally and his approach to just, I guess, media as a whole, I always want to say that I have nothing against Nick. This is always in the context of just trying to have fun. I have nothing but respect for what Nick has been able to do in his career and professionally, and he's pretty much poised, especially now with Skip Bayless leaving. Like, it's pretty much seen that he's the #1 guy at Fox Sports. So, again, credit to him. for making that happen. It's just definitely like a different view of how I approach things, both just personally and then also what I'm trying to do also like on YouTube and stuff like that, and what I personally like to consume. He definitely knows. He definitely puts entertainment more than anything, right? Like he is an entertainer more. He calls himself a broadcaster, I believe. I think when he was on the show with Colin Cowherd, they both refer to themselves as broadcasters, because Colin was specifically like, I'm not a podcaster, I'm a broadcaster. And I think like Nick was kind of like, I'm a broadcaster, analyst, whatever it may be. But I think at the end of the day, Nick is more than anything an entertainer, right? He is an entertainer. You can even see the show is a little bit more, right, with the flowers and the break dancers and whatever it may be. Like, he's an entertainer probably more than anything else. And he's very smart. He knows what he's doing. And so it is just funny to hear, Broussard kind of say that. It was just like every year you're kind of just doing this or saying some random crazy extreme thing, whether it's the Chiefs are going to go undefeated, the Dallas Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl, whatever it may be. And it's what it is it is a very specific strategy where you're saying something that no one else is saying. And when you say something that no one else is saying, you're going against the grain, which is a legitimate approach to the almighty algorithm, right? The almighty algorithm, no matter what social media platform it is, when you're going against the grain, that's when, it makes it more unique. It makes it stick out. And that's why when people were saying the Chiefs are great, Nick's like, I got to one up this. The Chiefs are going to go undefeated. Well, that's going to stick out, right? People were saying, oh, the Dallas Cowboys should be pretty good. They had a rough loss last season, in the playoffs, but like they're pretty good. And Nick is like, they're going to the Super Bowl. And it's like, oh, okay, well, that's energizing. People are really excited about Caleb Williams, the Chicago Bears. And they're saying, hey, you know what? They're going to be a pretty good team this year. Like, this is going to be exciting. And he's like, they're going to the Super Bowl, right? It's just that extreme emphasis, that oomph. It's I can get you to lose 100 pounds in 10 weeks, right? Rather than saying, if I make a YouTube video that says, hey, I can really help you get healthy, get in shape, lose some weight. It's going to be kind of a slow and steady thing, and you're going to have some ups and downs, but I can get you there. It's going to be really great. You'll probably lose about, a pound or two a week, and, nice and steady, let's go. That video will probably not get a lot of clicks. That title, I don't even know what it would be. Hey, you can lose some weight. It's going to be an up and down roller coaster, but let's do it, right? What gets the clicks? You're going to lose 100 pounds in 2 weeks, right? That gets the clicks. And the thumbnail of someone who's super overweight, and then next to them, it's them losing a lot of weight. We live in this like extreme swing culture, which is one of the motivating factors of why I wanted to make this channel, quite honestly, as I always emphasize, because I don't want to live in those extremes. I just kind of want to have interesting sports discussions. And like Colin Cowherd said recently, he's like, I'm not trying to be right. I just want to have the right discussions. And I love that. I mean, I'm so happy I randomly saw that on the YouTube algorithm. It was on a short when I think he was doing a podcast with Julian Edelman, I believe. And he said that, and I was like, this is exactly how I feel. I just want to have the right conversations and the interesting conversations. I never try to act like I'm right or wrong. And again, credit to Nick, because, and this is where I will tip my hat to Nick, because granted, I know he doesn't read the comments like I do. I'm sure he reads some comments, right? But like, he doesn't. Like, my whole thing is that I really try to read as much comments as I possibly can, all the back and forth, and really kind of get a good feel for how everyone's thinking that. But because of that, I get exposed to a tremendous amount of hate. I definitely get some praise, but I definitely get just tremendous amount of hate. I'm apparently the dumbest person in the history of the world, and I'm a hater, and I'm this, and I'm that, and it just goes on and on and on and on. And so credit to Nick. When you do come out with these insanely bold claims and these takes, and you're going for it, and you're saying the Chiefs are undefeated, this, that, it does open yourself to a lot of negativity, a lot of toxicity that he is absolutely being exposed to nonstop. Just go to their YouTube channel, just go to his Twitter, read any of the comments, and it's just like 90% hate. It really is. It's just 90% hate of just people saying, you're a clown, you're a clown, you're a clown, you're a clown, you're a clown. And I gotta tell you, no matter how strong you are, no matter how much money you're making, no matter how successful you are, no matter how great your personal life is, it can be exhausting just to be exposed to that again and again and again. And I would love to be able to have a real honest conversation with Nick and ask him, like, how do you actually endure that? And again, granted, I believe that he doesn't really read the comments, definitely not as much as I do, because he's pretty much have already said that. And so I think that does protect you if you do just kind of like have a take, say whatever, and then you just don't really see how other people respond to it, then you kind of keep yourself protected. But I still believe that some of the stuff still kind of gets to him because he is obviously very smart. He's not a dumb person, so he does know how this whole sports media game works, right? And I just would love to have like that actual conversation with him of like, you're obviously, when you say these takes that you apparently, and JCT Slice, Travis O'Shea, a couple other people have said that he's even admitted, on Colin's podcast, that he says things that he doesn't always necessarily even believe in, that he does it for the entertainment, which again, that's fine. That's not my personal approach, but at least he admits it. And it's just like, by doing that, you're opening yourself up to just more chaos, quite frankly. And I would love to see him unpack that more deeply. But I am happy that Nick, or that Broussard, did call him out. He didn't call him out like in a negative way. He didn't say like, oh my God, you're doing this, and this is shady and sketchy, stop doing this. But he is. They're kind of laughing through this, and understandably so. But it is. He's just kind of like, you always do this. You're always trying to come out with these big, bold claims. And you're just like, you don't even necessarily really believe it. And since you don't really believe it, and since it's not your beloved Chiefs, like, you're kind of protected, that you're just kind of like, well, hey, I was right about the Chiefs. It's like, well, that's also a safe bet. And I think that's also what Nick does too. He doesn't just pick a random extreme take, right? Because he is smart. He's not saying the Cleveland Browns are going to the Super Bowl, or the New York Giants are going to the Super Bowl. Like, he's picking things that also do have a mathematical advantage. They're actually good bets, that even though they're difficult bets and not the easiest bets, they still are theoretically smart bets, because it's not a lot to lay down and the reward is massive, right? So it really is kind of like, hey, you can throw $5 in and buy this ticket, and your odds are actually pretty good, better than you would think. And if you win, you're going to win like $5 million, right? Like, those are the types of bets that he makes. And I've been around enough sports bettors to know that, like, it's especially because he plays poker, and it's essentially pot odds. It's like, listen, I don't have the best hand. I know I don't have the best hand, but I have 2 more cards to turn over. I have enough outs where if I make this call right now, there's a good chance that I can hit. And if I hit, boom, I'm going to be set up to win the tournament now. And that's great. And if I don't, it is what it is. And that's what he does. That's really, I think he takes a very much like hybrid between sports betting and poker. And he kind of combines it. And that's when you get these takes like this. And like I said, if he ends up being right, then he gets to be like, I'm a genius. Nobody else said that the Chicago Bears were going to the Super Bowl. I did. And look, here they are in the Super Bowl. But then again, you have to be like, well, yeah, but like last year you said that that the Chiefs were going to be undefeated, and you said that the Cowboys were going to the Super Bowl. Both of those things, 1000%, did not happen. So you can't praise yourself for being right, because if you praise yourself for being right, then you have to take all the blame for all the times that you have been wrong. And it's a long list of times that you've been wrong. But, it just is what it is. But yeah, I really wanted to cut this clip and show it to you guys. Because as soon as I heard it, I was like, good for Brou, finally holding his feet to the fire. Let's go. But yeah, those are just my thoughts. Again, I want to emphasize, like, I'm not calling out Nick Wright at all. I'm just having fun with this as well. I try to not take too direct approaches when I'm trying to like do some of these clips with the individual. I really try to just take the take itself. But again, Nick knows what he's doing. He's very forthcoming about it. And because he is, I think it's like kind of totally fair game for me then to kind of like, all right, fine. If you're going to be this outspoken about it, and now even Brou is kind of calling you out for it, I feel a little bit more comfortable doing it. But I do know Fox Sports and stuff like that, they review all my clips. And so it's just, it's always meant just to be positive and fun, never trying to call anyone out, never trying to bring anyone out. Obviously, I'm a big fan of this show. And this is also never an invitation to also have everyone like bash Nick or bash Brou or bash whoever. Like, that's never, ever the intention. It's always just for fun, enjoyment, and to celebrate these clips and these people more than anything. But yeah, I would definitely recommend that you watch the full clip in its entirety so you can kind of get more of the logic. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Do you think Nick actually, in his heart, believes the Chicago Bears are going to the Super Bowl? Or do you think that this is more just theatrics, entertainment as my camera goes off? Hopefully you can still hear me. Or do you think that, it is actually what he believes in, and we're back. This is what he actually believes in, and we're going again. I'm just going to end the clip here. Those are just my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.